The Investigations of Doctor Quibble, or On the Peril of Excessive Optimism. I, your humble chronicler and eternal witness to human folly, must confess that of all the human passions I have observed in this unhappy world, none seems so absurd to me as the belief in miracles, especially when these miracles are sold for money. People, in their boundless readiness to believe in the most incredible concoctions, are capable of elevating any scoundrel to a pedestal. And no case illustrates this so vividly as the story of Doctor Theophilus Quibble and his famous Elixir of Eternal Youth and Wisdom. Chapter 1. The Emergence of a New Prophet of Health. Our local charlatan, Doctor Theophilus Quibble, was a man whose sole talent lay in his ability to speak eloquently. He possessed a most respectable appearance and wore spectacles which, as I was aware, were not made for vision but merely to give him a scientific look. Before he became a doctor, he sold powders for polishing shoes which, it must be said, were just as effective as his new elixir. Doctor Quibble, sensing that humanity, with its immeasurable ailments and sufferings, was fertile ground for his activities, announced that he, after long and exhaustive research, had invented a universal remedy for all maladies. He named it the Elixir of Eternal Youth and Wisdom. Though, as I later learned, its true composition was most prosaic, a simple mixture of sugar, water, and a few drops of cherry juice, which, incidentally, was as palatable as any common beverage. Chapter 2. The Marvelous Formula for Health. Dr. Quibble, with a proud look upon his face, demonstrated his elixir to everyone he met. He kept it in a glass bottle that was just as refined as his own manners. His conversations always began with tales of his scientific discoveries and ended with narratives of his own achievements, which, to my deep conviction, were as contrived as the history of his elixir. He claimed that his elixir contained distilled moonlight, the tears of a contented miser, and the vapor of a philosopher's sigh, which, as I could see, only elicited admiration from the people. He also claimed that his elixir could not only cure any illness but also make a person wiser and their mind sharper. Chapter 3. Blind Faith and an Epidemic of Healing. The first and most important client of Dr. Quibble was our local Mr. Bartholomew Puff, a man whose sole talent lay in his ability to invent his own illnesses. Mr. Puff, upon hearing of the new elixir, immediately decided to try it. He suffered from a non-existent weak digestion, nervous listlessness, and general debilitation. He, with great solemnity, drank 1 glass of the elixir and, to my astonishment, immediately felt better. His imaginary illnesses, it seemed, had vanished. He began telling everyone about his miraculous remedy, and, as is often the case with foolish people, he became Dr. Quibble's most devoted follower. This case marked the beginning of a veritable epidemic of healing. People who had previously complained of their ailments began to form queues to buy the elixir. They believed that it could cure everything, from back pain to financial troubles. Chapter 4. The Downfall of the Charlatan. But, as is often the case with swindlers, their activities cannot last forever. Our local physician, a man known for his sobriety of mind, decided to investigate the matter. He, being a practical man, demanded that Dr. Quibble demonstrate his elixir on a truly sick person. Dr. Quibble, in his pride, agreed. He decided to test his elixir on one of the local residents who was suffering from a genuine illness. He gave him the elixir to drink and declared that he would be cured. However, as one might have expected, nothing happened. The sick man remained sick, and Dr. Quibble, in his hysteria, began to accuse him of not having enough faith. This incident marked the beginning of the end. People who had previously blindly believed in Dr. Quibble began to turn away from him. His elixir, which had once been so valuable, now became an object of ridicule. Chapter 5. On the Peril of Excessive Optimism. This story, like many others that I have observed, once again confirms my opinion that the human readiness to believe in miracles is the chief of all human vices. It forces us to abandon common sense and compels us to believe that our problems can be solved with a simple elixir. The story of Dr. Quibble is a clear example of how a deception can ruin not only a person's life, but also their faith in others. But it must be noted, the worst part was not that the charlatan deceived the people, but that the people themselves wanted to be deceived. They, in their immense naivety, believed that their happiness could be bought for money. So, dear readers, do not be surprised by human foolishness, but simply observe it as a comedy, and remember that the best cure for this ailment is common sense.